Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. The emotive Cherera Oster petition at the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee that is sitting in City Hall is at the center of a Twitter storm and a bitter exchange between President William Samoei Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga. Yesterday I analyzed about this Cherera's issue. And one thing I realized is that with Raila Odinga's speech yesterday, it was going to pull William Ruto from his comfort. And I think he is being pushed out of his comfort zone. I want us to look at what William Ruto tweeted today, because yesterday Raila Odinga, Martha Karua and Kalonzo Musyoka attended that hearing of that petition, and the letter came out and issued a press conference. And so today in the morning, the president, I think, is in South Korea. I don't know whether he has flew back. He's now back. He posted a Twitter. He did a Twitter, and I want us to look at it. This is what President Ruto shared. The lords of impunity who destroyed oversight institutions using the handshake fraud should allow Parliament to hold rogue officials who put the nation in danger by subverting the democratic will of the people to be held to account. New order is rule of law, not wishes of big men. I think hypocrisy in this country is on another level. The hypocrisy in this country is on another level. Let me just do some quick rejoinders on this tweet. So, according to what is in this tweet, handshake destroyed institutions. But if handshake destroyed institutions, see, by that time, William Ruto was a deputy president, so he was part of the executive. Okay, maybe far to add. I am seeing a clear, I don't understand why the handshake conversation is coming into this. What does it have to do with the handshake? I've always said in this channel, people who follow my position has been that the best gift that former President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga gave to Kenyans in the last 5 years, the best gift was a handshake. I can always say, I know people always measure it in terms of development. But I can tell you that I have been talking to young people around, especially in Nairobi, and they will tell you that we are peaceful and there is restraint. There is peace, and now the animosity that was building, the tribal animosity, is no longer there. Simon Kemchai tells me that Kevin, a very good friend of mine that vied in Githunguru constituency through ODM, says, Kevin, I will remain with Raila. Why? I believe the ideology of peace, I think this is what I can tell President Ruto. Don't destroy handshake. Don't destroy handshake. We have a peaceful transition. We have a peaceful politics. We have peace. We had peaceful campaign. We want to enjoy that peaceful campaign in 2027. And the same way things are happening, we should not mutilate handshake. I think we should not drag handshake into this. And so, there is other bit of some irony here. The lords of impunity who destroyed oversight institutions should allow Parliament to hold rogue officials who put the nation in the danger. Okay, there is Parliament, but there is also the opposition. So, on this, does it mean that everything, because the Parliament and executive are dancing in the same tune? So does it mean that the president doesn't want criticism from opposition? What opposition is doing is criticism, and that is their role. They offer alternative voices. So do we really want Parliament to run with everything? Because Parliament is already, Ruto enjoys majority in the National Assembly. So the only alternative voice that is out there is opposition. But didn't you say you wanted an opposition to look after government? Raila responded and said, there is due process and justice, natural justice. Things aren't just done at the whims of the executive. The rule of law must prevail and not your jungle laws that you want to institute so as to subjugate Kenyans to conveyor belt system of elections come 2027. We shall not relent. Yes, so that was the conversation between the two. Interestingly, when I was going through the replies, there is a video that emerged. And one good Kenyan shared a video of William Ruto speaking in Bomas of Kenya, saying that we are not going to revenge, we are not going to have the currency of blame games. Let me tell you something. That, I want us to listen to that interesting video here.
I know many, especially those who have done many things against us. I want to tell them that they have nothing to fear. There is no room. There is nothing. There is no room for violence. There is no room for looking back. We are looking into the future. I am acutely aware that our country is at a stage where we need all hands on deck to move it forward. We do not have the luxury to look back. We do not have the luxury to point fingers. We do not have the luxury to apportion blame. We must close ranks and work together for a democratic, prosperous Kenya.
Now, when you're playing that, I just bumped out this tweet by the Demolokina, and I picked it because it's something I mentioned in my previous video, my first video on this thing. Senator Demolokina is saying, Mr. President William Ruto, I thought you said the difference between winners and losers in the last election was those who believed in God versus men. Isn't it ironic that you now want to punish IBC commissioners, yet you got the victory? Stop this unnecessary fights, man. Not worth it. So, and this is what I said, and my position was this. Election was free and fair, and we formed government. Why are we going after people? You're saying that they're going to subvert the will of the people. Where? So why don't we go after, and if they are working under direction of some other senior people, why aren't we not going now for the owner of the dog instead of now killing the dog? This is the speech that has awoken William Ruto from his comfort zone. This speech by Raila yesterday, listen to that.
And we are saying that order must stop revenge mission against IBC commissioners. When the Supreme Court made this contemptuous ruling on the 2022 presidential election, we said we strongly disagreed, but accepted it in the interest of furthering the rule of law, stability, and healing of our nation. Since we made that concession, the Oduor administration has proceeded on a path of impunity, witch hunt, and revenge. Their target has been the institutions and individuals the regime thinks did not dance enough to its tunes during the campaigns. The regime has also targeted those it believes it cannot trust to dance to the Oduor's tune in 2027 elections. We have done our best to give Ruto time and space to heal and unite our land. We have given so much space that a section of Kenyans think we have given up the fight. Unfortunately, Ruto too seems to think that we have surrendered. Instead of healing the land, however, all we see is a leadership that is extremely keen to deepen and widen the bitter partisan divide that existed during the campaigns and even open new wounds. No one should lie to this regime that will sit back and watch a return of the Nyao regime by another name. And I want to repeat, we want to warn this regime that we will not sit back and watch a return of the Nyao regime by another name. If deepening and widening the divisions among Kenyans is what the Oduor regime wants, we will only be too happy to help them along that path. The injustice being inflicted on the IEBC commissioners, if it proceeds as currently conceived, will mark the beginning of a massive pushback against the Ruto and those who think like him.
So I can tell you, for over time, we have been we have seen maybe a strategy by William Ruto to respond to Raila through Gachagua. Gachagua has been talking about Raila all through. And until even I think Mudavadi felt a bit uncomfortable and was saying that this is not going to be the way we are going to run government. Now, William Ruto is now taking on on Raila Odinga directly. I am making some few observations here, and you just help us also whether we are in the same direction, whether you're also seeing what I'm seeing. If you look at the way that tweet by William Ruto, he's actually dragging Uhuru's name in the whole issue. Today, there was an article by The Star, and I think it's talking about President is supposed to leave politics 6 months after retirement to, I think, start enjoying retirement benefits or something. There is some legislation on president activeness in politics, and so that's why President Uhuru Kenyatta is no longer actively a member of the Azimio team, Azimio coalition. But from that press briefing, William Ruto is simply trying to talk about President Uhuru Kenyatta, because if you talk about the handshake was between Raila and Uhuru Kenyatta. In the handshake arrangement, Martha Karua was not part of it, and Kalonzo Musyoka was not part of it. So, or maybe let's put Kalonzo in it. As now we were dealing with ouster of IBC commissioners, and that is the matter at hand. But we are dragging Uhuru's name into it. Why do you think that is being put? Number one, Uhuru's name is being dragged by only one reason. We want to revive the blame game currency. That currency is what will keep government afloat. That Uhuru got this wrong, so we are fixing this. Uhuru got that wrong, so we are fixing this. And we blame Uhuru for everything. That blame game currency, Musalia Mudavadi said it will sublime before we even know. Within no time, it will no longer be relevant. I see a strategy that someone wants to revive the blame game currency. It's ending. I think Gachagua has exhausted it. Now William Ruto has picked it. I don't know to what end, because honestly, how does Uhuru's name comes into it? And it's interesting, and it is, of course, I also support the fact that we need to do an audit of the Electoral Commission. That audit of the Electoral Commission is supposed to be a holistic. It should be done in a holistic manner that it's devoid of political rhetoric. And the audit of our electoral system, or rather of the electoral body, can only be done, and it can only have the goodwill of the people if it's not done in a skewed manner. To that tweet, we've already called those IBC officials rogue. Now, we're already passing a verdict on them that these people are rogue. And so, what is the essence of that process? If the president is already saying that those 4 commissioners are rogue, and so they have to be removed or something. And of course, there is parliamentary, there is a legislation process, there is a legislative process, or rather there is a legal process to that. What's supposed to happen after the Legal Justice Affairs Committee meeting and also grilling both the petitioners and the respondents? They will determine whether the petition has the threshold. Then they give a recommendation to the president, who will then form a tribunal. Then the tribunal will go. So if we are supposed to follow the due process, but here is a president who is already saying that these people are rogue. So honestly, what is even the essence of this commissioners going through that process? That's why I think we are not, the advisors are not getting it right. The intention might be clear that the end goal is to make them leave office. But that should not be laid bare, because if you already passed judgment and there is a legal process that is supposed to continue, then honestly, that process lacks the integrity. It lacks the meritocracy in it. And it speaks to what Raila is saying about, do we just need to have a stamping process? Now, we wanted opposition. And in that tweet, it's open that President is telling Raila that with a handshake, you destroyed opposition, which was supposed to hold government at ransom, accountable. Now, what Raila is doing is the work of the opposition. Or what is Raila supposed to do? Okay, guys, what is Azimio supposed to do? What they're doing is the work of the opposition. And they're simply putting it in. So why aren't we not also seeing that? Because this is not the first thing Raila is talking about. This is not the only thing Raila is talking about. Raila has spoken about GMO and has spoken about the way the GMO issue. Raila has also spoken about, I think, the issue on the education and the other aspects, and even the corruption. But cases are being dropped, no response about the corruption. GMO, we've not seen response to opposition. But when it came to IBC, then it hurts most. Make your guess. That's my bold. Kindly subscribe to our channel. Click the notification bell and also like our video.